It's gross, it's un-American, it sells out this country.
The fact that he's campaigning on this, that spineless little weenie Ted Cruz.
What's more important? Protecting the woman's life, or is the woman's life not that important at all?
They were stupid human shields and they had it coming. That's your stupid message, Richie Torres, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, you monsters.
The Iranian nuclear program is going to be destroyed. And anyone who gets in the way, it doesn't matter where they are, even if they are politicians in the West, they are going to fall. Cenk, you are going to be defeated.
Did you hear what he just said? He threatened politicians in the West that if they don't agree with Israel's war against Iran, that they're going to fall. What do you mean the politicians in the West will fall if they don't agree to back Israel's war against Iran?
Yeah, we will not vote for them anymore.
Oh, no, well, you don't vote for them now. You're not in our country.
This guy threatens my life, and Piers didn't kick him off. Piers didn't say anything negative about him, etc. That guy's all over the media. I know he looks ridiculous. He looks like an idiotic Borat, but like in real life. But when he starts, but remember, he's an Israeli agent.
Yep.
And so when he starts threatening to, politicians and me, and says anyone who's criticized Israel is he said is a terrorist. You know what Israel thinks of terrorists? If they call you a terrorist, and remember they say almost every Palestinian male they killed in Gaza is a terrorist. So if you're a Muslim male and Israel thinks you're a terrorist, they kill you. So this is getting totally out of hand. And yet, and why does this happen? Is it because Israel is like some sort of ethnic background that is so special and different? No, it's humanity. Anytime any group has absolute power, then it corrupts absolutely.
Yeah, they feel emboldened.
And that isn't about Israel, that's about America. America is saying, green light, doesn't matter. Genocide, totally wipe out northern Gaza. They killed 90 people today for what? All the Hamas leaders are dead. All the Hezbollah leaders are dead. They just keep bombing and starving northern Gaza. They're trying to occupy southern Lebanon. Not going as well for them there, right? But all of this, and America goes, thank you, sir. May I have another? May I have another war? Please, sir, here's another 26 billion, sir. How much is enough? And that's why guys like this are emboldened to say all over American media, oh yeah, sure. If they're criticizing Israel, threaten their lives.
I think it's important also to identify, I think, the 3 levels of how messed up it is.
Go ahead.
So the ad that they released is, I guess, especially messed up because they decided, we just need some kids. Who the hell cares if they're even trans? I mean, we don't really care about this issue. We're just using it for political points. So throw whatever kids you want, and you're implying that they're trans when they're not. So that's especially messed up. By the way, if they were trans, it would also be super, super messed up to take 2 random kids, school kids, and use them to attack your political opponents. So even if they hadn't gotten that wrong or cared enough to look into it, that would still be messed up. Also, if they hadn't used any photo and they hadn't shown any kid, but the ad otherwise had been the same, it would be super, super messed up. Because Texas is a state that has a lot of people in it. It's got a lot going on, it's got a lot of problems. And the idea that you, in the closing days of your campaign, need to be doing what so many Republicans are doing right now, especially the Trump campaign, where they're putting more money into ads specifically about trans people than like literally anything else. The idea that that's one of the top 250 biggest issues facing Texas is absurd. I lived in Texas for half a decade. I know they've got other stuff they can deal with. The fact that needlessly people die of heat in the summers, die of cold in the winters, and no politician there seems to give a damn about it or is gonna do anything to stop it. The fact that he's campaigning on this, that spineless little weenie Ted Cruz, when he's been also presenting himself as some sort of moderate and bipartisan, all that, is just grotesque. So what they did, even how they could have been a little bit less inaccurate, and that they did it at all messed up.
100% agree with you on this.
If you're a Trump supporter or Republican and you're wondering why they keep saying you're against democracy, here's your answer. When idiots in your own party. And he's not an unsubstantial guy. He is a United States congressman. He's the head of the Freedom Caucus, the most conservative group in the House. And he says, well, why don't we just say that Trump won before anybody votes? That's why they think you're against democracy. Is that complicated? Do I need to be clearer about it? And then the other idiot jumps in and goes, yeah, why don't we just declare him the winner in all the swing states? Okay, so you guys are for a dictatorship. Let's just be clear about it. That's not democracy. I don't care what you, oh, well, no, we're not a democracy, we're a republic. What is this? What is this? Imagine if Kamala Harris said, oh yeah, the swing states. Or not Kamala Harris, to be fair. The head of the, Pramila Jayapal, the head of the Progressive Caucus, came out and said, the swing states or just Wisconsin should be declared Kamala Harris's before anyone votes. The Republicans would lose their minds. And of course they should, of course they should. But when Democrats say, hey, that seems problematic, it seems like you guys kind of hate democracy. They're like, how dare you? You have this impulse in your party and it's gross, it's un-American, it sells out this country, it sells out our democracy, it sells out our Constitution. So that guy should be primaried, he should be removed from office. And Republicans, you vote for him again, you hate this country. Don't complain about it. If you say we should kill democracy, don't be like, oh, I'm offended when you say it. No, you should be, if you're not livid at that congressman and you're not gonna vote him out, then shut up already about, oh no, boo-hoo. Just because Trump lost an election and tried to overturn it with fake electors and said we should terminate the Constitution, and we have the head of the Freedom Caucus saying we shouldn't even vote, we should declare Trump the winner. Oh, well, gee, I wonder why people think we're against democracy. Really, you can't figure it out?
Barnica's death was preventable, according to more than a dozen medical experts who reviewed a summary of her hospital and autopsy records at ProPublica's request. They called her case horrific, astounding, and egregious. What was the point of these anti-abortion laws again? It was to save lives, right? That was the argument. Is this supposed to be the moral path forward? I'm serious. Like, I really do want conservatives to answer that question. Is this really the moral way of handling women's reproductive health? And if you are a conservative watching, I'm genuinely curious. What is your stereotype of women and why they would want to keep abortion legal? You know, the Roe standard ensured that abortion was legal up to viability. Viability meaning, you know, a fetus that could actually survive outside the womb. So I just want to understand, when the fetus isn't even viable, what's more important? Protecting the woman's life, or is the woman's life not that important at all? We just need to have these ridiculous bans to save what? I mean seriously. To save the fetuses that a lot of women are going to go out of their way to abort in illegal ways if they have to. I mean, that's what happened in the past when abortion was illegal nationwide. That's what's been happening now. You know, a lot of people think that the abortion pill is the magic solution to all of this. And I'm happy that the abortion pill is available. But the abortion pill has complications as well, because if you take the abortion pill, you're in the comfort of your own home and you abort a fetus that way. Well, sometimes complications arise from that as well, and a woman might need to seek medical attention to avoid an infection as a result of that as well. But if you live in a state where you're worried about prosecution for getting an abortion or aborting a fetus, are you going to seek that medical attention, or are you going to be afraid to do so? I just think that these laws are not well thought out, and they seem to have a complete misunderstanding as to why abortion and reproductive health is considered health care.
Hamas makes sure that they're shielded by civilians. They'll force you to kill civilians if you want to defend yourself.
They're just collateral damage. They're just human shields. And the Palestinians made us kill them and made us occupy them because they're the violent ones. Yeah, okay, well, you look disgusting when you say that. Israel right now is starving the children of northern Gaza. They've barely let any humanitarian aid or food in since the beginning of this month, an entire month of a planned starvation where the Palestinian starving children just look like the Jewish kids out of the Holocaust. That should rip your insides out. That should make you so sad for what Israel has become. But instead of turning around, you have a bunch of corrupt, immoral politicians like Bill Clinton going and yelling at Muslim and Arab voters that it's their fault, and if they know what's good for them, they should bow their heads and support Kamala Harris, even though she's 100% on Israel's side. It's disgusting. When you're going to try to get Arab and Muslim votes in Michigan, you moron, you might want to try a different speech. Do you know they also sent Richie Torres to Michigan? If you don't know, Richie Torres is the most virulently pro-right-wing Netanyahu government supporting a member of Congress. Maybe he's tied with Fetterman. And he dehumanizes Palestinians. And why is he used? Like a stupid stooge that he is. Let's be honest. Oh, look, we got a minority to say that minority lives don't matter. That only Israeli lives matter. Only Israeli lives matter. 40 times as many children killed, grandmothers killed, aunts and uncles and moms killed in Gaza. Who cares? I don't have to think about their families. They were stupid human shields and they had it coming. That's your stupid message, Richie Torres, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, you monsters, and also morons. And you'd rather serve your donors than win this election. So if Kamala Harris loses this election, I don't want any stupid, idiotic, moronic mainstream media or Democratic Party leaders coming out going, oh no, it was the voters' fault. It was the Arabs' fault and young black males' fault and women's fault. They didn't come out enough. And it was progressives' fault and it was somebody else's fault. I mean, she had to serve the donors even though it cost her the election. She has to serve the moneyed interests. No, she doesn't. And by the way, you idiot, you already have the money. You're supposed to use the money to win the election. In the end, at least have enough common sense to turn to the voters even if you're faking it. But she's not even smart enough to do that. And neither is Bill Clinton, neither is Joe Biden. A bunch of donor-obsessed goons who have no morality at all. Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.